Hey guys, it's Mark from Hallmark Pool Supply. I want to talk to you today about the pressure gauge. What is a pressure gauge? How do we know we need to replace it? And how do we replace it? Quite simple. In fact, a pressure gauge is designed to let us know what the pressure is in our swimming pool filter. This way we know when to clean or backwash. If a gauge is not working properly, we have no clue what the pressure is. So we want to make sure that when we have a gauge on, for an example, this is a side mount gauge. There's also a back mount gauge. They're both basically the same. It's just how they're installed. The more common one would be the side mount gauge. That's my preference, but you can do either or. And when we have a gauge and the pump and filter is running, this gauge has to register. If the gauge is sitting on 0 and it's running, it's broke. If the gauge is up here and it's showing pressure and we turn off the system and it doesn't go back to 0, it's broke. So this is an indication to let us know we need to replace the gauge. Now, in some cases, people will replace the gauge because in time, you'll get moisture in here, the sun can fade or yellow this out and it makes it hard to read. So we do want to replace it at that point so we know what we've got. Now, a pressure gauge is probably one of the cheapest things you're going to buy for the pool. It is going to be the most replaced item on a pool, and gauges are typically replaced every couple years. So what we want to do is we want to make sure we turn off the pump. We're going to unscrew the gauge, which is normally right here. Some gauges are on top of filters. This one is just so happening to be on the side of the multiport. We want to unscrew that. Then what we want to do is we want to get some tape, Teflon tape, and we want to tape the gauge because if we just screw it in without taping, it's going to leak. And so what we want to do is we want to make sure that we tape the gauge, and we want to wrap the gauge a couple times like so. And this is all we need to do. Now, when we get ready to put the gauge in, it's very important that we don't cross thread the gauge. We want to make sure it's nice and straight. You want to look at it, make sure it's good. Then we can go ahead and start to screw the gauge in. And all we're going to do is we're going to give it a few turns like so, and we should be good. At this point, we're going to turn the filter on, and we're going to inspect and make sure that there's no leaks. And if it's not leaking, we're good. If it is leaking, we can turn it a little bit more, and we should be good to go. What is very important is that we don't cross thread, and we definitely do not want to over tighten or screw the gauge in too far because then you could crack the housing on your multiport here and then you will have a bigger problem. So just make sure it's not cross threaded, it's nice and straight, and we don't want to over tighten it, and this is basically what you have. So if you guys do need a pressure gauge, I do carry them on our website, and I will be posting links down below. I hope this video was informative. If you guys have any questions, feel free to comment or contact me. Definitely hit the subscribe and the like button for future content. As always, I do appreciate you watching. My name is Mark, and I'll see you guys on the next video.